triangle pose with your kitchen counter. So sometimes going into this pose, so I'm going to start with the wide step, right? About 3.5 to 4 feet wide. And then I'm going to rotate my left leg entirely to the left. My toes are pointing that way. My knee is in line with my second toe. And I'm going to lift my left hip up a little bit. So that's going to put some of the weight in my back leg. And then I'm going to take my back heel and just press it out a little bit. So my toes are directing somewhat in the same direction as my left. So again, trying to level my pelvis. Now, when we extend and lengthen through the side of the body, we're trying to deepen the hip crease. But what often happens, because the hips are pretty tight or the low back, is that we tend to bend and end up somewhere here, or the body's thrown forward. And so having a sink, right, or in the Iyengar tradition, they have a big trestle. It's like a horse. They call it like a horse, I think, and it's a big, long trestle that you can extend along, which is really helpful because we would like to have a long side body. So I use my kitchen counter. So as I keep my back leg nice and sturdy, I'm going to lift up this hip just a little bit and lift my arm, trying to keep my left knee in line with my left toe, and then I'm going to reach and reach and reach and try to keep my side body long. And then I'm just going to let my hand rest right here on the counter, and then just spin the belly open a little bit so you don't have to spin the whole pelvis, especially if that creates discomfort in your low back. So I have SI joint issues, so I don't really pull my hip back like that. I try to keep my hip lifting, deepening this hip crease, and then lifting and spinning the belly and the chest just a little bit. And then just lengthen both sides of your neck. We have a tendency to lift the head, as I was doing. Lengthen both sides of the neck, and maybe you take your other arm out, or you can just let it be on your hip. And then you've got a very nice Trikonasana, and it's allowing some of the muscles to open up at their own pace, keeping both legs firm. And then to come up, you just glide back up. Turn the toes in, so make sure you come out the way that you went in. All right, I'm going to come back into center and then start again, letting my toes be on the same plane, and then rotating that entire right leg. Toes go out, knee is pointing towards the second toe, turn the back toes in slightly, and then using that same lift. So I'm going to lift, 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 and reach. I'm trying to move my side body out into space, and then let my arm come down. So this leg for me is more flexible. So I'm going to bring my hand to my hip here and just rotate my chest a little bit, keeping this back leg firm. Okay, and feeling this side body, lengthening both sides of the neck. Maybe I'll take the arm out. Maybe I'll just keep it on my hip. A few breaths there, and then gliding myself back up. Turn the toes in, and you can tick-tock and come into center. So after you've done an asymmetric pose with your pelvis like that, so that means one wing of the pelvis is doing something different than the other. So you want to bring them back into neutral, which is why I like the sink hang, or you can do it with any kind of ledge. So you would just you can take your legs about hip, like maybe outer hip distance apart, and we're gonna drop the hips back, and I'm gonna bring my hands onto my sink and walk my hips back until I can get some length, so you can't really see my knees, but I'm more like this, like I'm sitting back in a chair, and then I'm just gonna hold on to my sink, trying to feel my hips moving the base of my spine. I'm gonna press into my heels and pick up the pit of my abdomen, and so I can lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And this lengthens the low back, right? Creates traction in the spine. And then I'm gonna hug my inner thighs together a little bit, pull the low belly back, and then just letting yourself come up. So if you've got low back pain, that's a nice one, if you kind of tighten your low back. But also it's a good way to just bring the spine back into alignment and let the pelvis go back into neutral. So, kitchen yoga. So when you're in the morning having some tea or some coffee or waiting on your egg to finish frying or whatever you do, your oatmeal, do a few yoga poses. Why not? Triangle pose is really great for a nice steady energy level. Sometimes the warrior poses with the bent knee, they're a little bit intense, but especially doing a supported triangle pose can bring you some nice energy for your day. So let me know how you like your kitchen yoga. You can always leave me a message down below. My neighbors are doing yard work today. It's nice out. All right, see you guys later. Thanks for watching.